Wow, it must be looking rough.
Hey, I know you have a 10:30, so I do want to get through this with you. So, okay, 3 weeks ago, I think it was, you got the vote through on the Congress floor. Great moment for these families, and you obviously walk me through what has happened over the course of the last 3 weeks to kind of get us to this place where it sounds like there's going to be boots on the ice in summer of 2023 up there.
Yeah, that's the hope. That's the plan, and frankly, that was the biggest thing that we were asking for. What's the plan? What's the action that needs to happen, and when is it going to happen? So I gotta give kudos to Joni Ernst, Senator Ernst from Iowa. Got personally involved as well, and let the Air Force know that she was interested in what was going on. We tried to just basically rally the troops. That seemed to get people's attention, and they presented me with a written plan that they're also presenting to the families, which is a good step. I asked a couple of procedural questions, sort of technology questions. Is there a way of being able to use drones and to be able to shorten that time frame up? Wanting to make sure that it wasn't like the National Park Service or some other federal agency dictating when they were able to get on this glacier for reasons other than recovery. And it was productive. We're going to keep the pressure on. We're going to keep the gas mash down on this, because we know the clock is ticking. It's been almost 70 years at this point, and family members may not be around forever, and we want to make sure that they've got the answers and the ability to give a proper goodbye.
What was in the plan? What was in the paperwork? I mean, I know the asks that you had. There were like three big asks in there, and not only did you want to know what the plan was for a search and recovery, but you wanted to know why there hasn't been one. And I mean, did they detail all of that out for you?
It was more detailed on what it is going to look like moving forward. And I'm a front facing guy. I don't think you can live life in the rearview mirror. So the question is really what's going to be happening moving forward, and are they going to be diligent? And is it really truly their best effort out of the military and out of the Defense Department? And so I live by my hero Ronald Reagan's adage: trust but verify. I want to make sure that this is not only the plan, but the action that follows that. Anybody can write a plan. Question is are they going to follow that plan? And so we're going to be watching this very closely. And I know now I've got some allies in the Senate that are going to be watching and asking those questions as well. And the larger the circle is that we can make this of people who are interested in the issue and in these families, the better off we're going to be.
You mentioned the Iowa individual who hopped on board to help you. Who else jumped on to support this after everything went through 3 weeks ago?
Well, we had been talking to some of the House members. Lisa McClain from Michigan. She is on the House Armed Services Committee. She's been helpful with that. Basically, I was trying to talk to all of my colleagues in the Michigan delegation, and that came together so quickly, and we were able to get some really good cooperation out of the committee and the committee staff that we didn't end up having to have this prolonged push that had to happen in the House. And then we quickly kind of turned it. I talked to both Senator Peters and Senator Stabenow personally to make them aware of this situation. That was not something that they had been aware of before, and so I brought that to their attention. And like I said, though, Joni Ernst circled back with me and said that she specifically had talked to the Air Force liaison, wanted to get an update, wanted to let them know that she was going to be watching this very closely. And because of her status not only on her committees, but being a veteran herself and being involved in the military. They took that very seriously, which was great. And it was certainly more progress than I think we've seen for a significant period of time.
Without a doubt. I mean, these people have been waiting a while to hear these words.
Yeah.
Okay. Confirm for me this is what I heard, Bill. I don't know if it's right or not, but maybe I'm in the ballpark, but you can help me learn. 2022, they're going to send people up there to identify landing strips where they can land aircraft on the glacier and build a command center. And then 2023, they go up there and actually get boots on the ice and try to find remains. Is that what?
So there's a couple of things that might be getting slightly conflated. There's actually two crashes on different glaciers up there. And in fact, when I was talking with one of the Alaskan media folks, they were confused about the Gamble Chalk location versus the other recovery that's been happening. And there's been 55 bodies recovered out of, I think it was 62 at this other crash site, which is at a much lower altitude. And this is at a higher altitude where Gamble Chalk is. And so they, as I understand, they have some base camps that they have. The problem that is part of this is you have, obviously, it's a glacier, and so it shifts. And they may be able to identify an area now, which may not be the area that they're able to get to later, the following year. And it's hard to put permanent structure. So as I understand, it won't be a permanent structure at the site, but there's more of like a base camp kind of a view of it, where the other location is, it's far more accessible. The Gamble Chalk location is more susceptible to weather, and means that they'll have to be transporting people back and forth, and they really probably can't let them, just drop them off and pick you up in 3 weeks. It's not that kind of a operation. So a lot of details that are going to be getting worked out. What was the most clear was the goal to have boots on the ice in 2023, which will still be then identifying some of those crash site parameters where they're going to be able to go. And it's going to be a long operation. That's something that at this other crash site, now it was a larger crash site, but it was more accessible. It's been a 10-year operation. And so I think that's the other next goal, is to shorten this time frame up as much as we possibly can.
Okay, last question, and I want to get you to your 10:30. I don't want you to drift, but okay. Yeah. All of it, as you know, Bill, all of this is words until you actually see it all happen.
Yep.
These families have heard this before. We're going to go up there and do this. We're going to go up there and do this, and then at the last second, it's like Lucy pulling the football away when Charlie Brown is about to kick it. I'm not trying to be funny, but it's just the truth. And how are you going to make sure that we're looking at 2 years from now? I mean, how are you going to make sure that these people stick to this, and it's not just something that's in the news now and is gone? Because you know how the news cycle works. This is probably the last story I'm doing with you on this until 2023. I wish there was more, but this is it, right? Yep. So how are you going to do it?
Well, this is where the elbow grease part comes in, right? And this is this type of stuff that happens behind the scenes that's not going to be necessarily in the media or what we're going to talk about in a constituent newsletter. It's the work that every year when appropriations bills come up, for example, we're able to make sure that we take that opportunity to say, hello, DOD, here's our project that you told us you would be working on. Give us that status update. Are we on track? That's where the work that needs to happen, both in the House and the Senate, where we're talking to our colleagues that are on the appropriations bill or appropriations committees, but also on those policy committees like a House Armed Services Committee, to have them ask questions, and not necessarily in a hearing. They're the ones that are going to be calling them up afterwards and saying, hey, give me a briefing on such and such, but by the way, I'd like you to include situational with gamble chalk, those kinds of things. That's the kind of behind the scenes pressure. I don't want to use that as, I mean, there's different ways, good pressure, bad pressure. But this is the kind of pressure point that we use to make sure that they're fulfilling what they said they were going to do. And when they don't, we hold them accountable. And then you and I will be having a lot of conversations about what they aren't doing, and we'll try to pound them into doing the right thing.
Perfect. Are you reaching out to the families, letting them know? Is Boomer drafting up a one pager? What is,
Yeah, actually, we're circling back on that. I haven't sat down with Boomer yet on that, and we've had some contact with the families, but not a lot directly. The military is very reticent about contacting us with these names, right? That because of privacy issues, they may or may not want those released. So it's been more the opposite, either through news media, as we've been learning and seeing who these folks are from you guys, or as they've been contacting us. That's really how we can then get in contact with those families.
All right, perfect. All right. Thank you so much for taking the time, Bill, for doing this
You got
today.
it.
Stories on at 6, and we'll be in touch again soon, okay?
Sounds good.
Have a good day, brother. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. See ya.